You know, just a few seconds from now, it'll be about 10 minutes till the ball drop, and you can feel it in the air. There's a buzz. You hear that sound? They know it's going to happen. And they'll all be looking at the big ball up there on top of #1 Times Square. It's a 77-foot flagpole. Let me show you how they put this ball together and give you a couple of the statistics. It's a 6-foot ball in diameter, and they've mounted on 1,070 pounds of aluminum there. It's just covered with these crystals. There are 504 of them. They range in size from 4 3/4 inches to 5 3/4 inches long. And then again, they're lighted with 168 halogen bulbs at 60 watts, by the way. And as I mentioned, the flagpole is 77 feet tall. It's 390 feet up in the air over Times Square. And that's what these people down in that little square are looking at. This is all of the design of this intricate ball, and it's brand new this year, brand new for the millennium. And of course, there are other symbols around the world. They drop an orange in one place, they light up a fountain somewhere else. But I must tell you, of all the symbols in the world that denote New Year's Eve, it's Times Square and the ball, and that's what they want to see. At the crossroads of the world, it is the place to be. And this is our 28th consecutive year in Times Square. Now, I don't think this crowd is really aware of all the preparation that went into this giant party. Awful lot of people, thousands of volunteers put in a lot of time. The professional crews, they've all got their eye on that flagpole. And when it hits the 2,000, you will hear in 9 minutes and 30 seconds a thing like you've never heard before. The helicopters are overhead. The volunteers have done their work. The professional crews have done it. The musicians, the dancers, the police, as I mentioned earlier, they have consumed 7,000 gallons of coffee. This is something to see. Times Square is a year-round attraction. There's no doubt about it. It is one of the places to see. The first movie theater that presented a talkie was here in 1927. And now, of course, you got dozens and dozens of movie houses everywhere, 40 legitimate theaters in the area, 250 restaurants, if you can believe that. And there are 12,500 hotel rooms in the area. We've got 9 minutes to go until the ball drops. Speaking of hotel rooms, 90,000 citywide, so New York City can throw a party. You know, the nice thing about this is these people have not been allowed to bring in alcohol. They're having a great time on their own. They're conversing, having intimate conversation, but they're screaming and yelling. They got their crazy wigs on and their glasses. They're just happy to be here. And as 1999 passes into 2000, we remember certainly the Latin music take over, the female singers take over, the boy band take over, and things like the Blair Witch Project. You know what they would have said if they'd seen the ball. Bruce Springsteen's $53 million tour. It's been a big year in entertainment. It's a big night here in Times Square. This is the year of the Internet Impact, $1 million game shows, Santana's return, wrestling's return. By the way, as we watch the ball up there, do you have any idea? Yeah, it's 7 minutes to go, and got just a second here. The BMI people, the folks who publish or keep track of a lot of the music, christened the top song of the century is "You've Lost That Love and Feeling." The Righteous Brothers, and Ascop's top song of the century was "Happy Birthday to You," if you can believe it or not. Once again, let us thank a wonderful ABC crew for putting all of this extraordinary coverage of the millennium around the world, and especially here in Times Square together. Larry Klein's been our producer for goodness knows how many years. Bob McKinnon is our director. Dave is the executive senior producer of the ABC television crew, and they've done a phenomenal job. That stage there in the middle has been the site of a lot of entertainment today. And as you see, these giant billboards, they're all over the place. Back in the 1930s, Benny Goodman was the guy here. Just yesterday, as of 1942, Frank Sinatra appeared at the Paramount Theater for a 4-week engagement, and they extended it for 4 more weeks. Right here in the center of Times Square. In the 1950s, we had the first rock and roll shows. Alan Freed was here. And in 1983, you talk about big crowds. Big, big crowds. Central Park was inundated with people. That's when Diana Ross was there. And in 1997, Garth Brooks was there. Every eye is on the ball at 6 minutes and 40 seconds to ball drop and counting down. The weather tonight is perfect. I mean, look at them. They're not all bundled up. You can't even hardly see the breath in the air. I mean, usually they're rubbing themselves, hugging themselves, trying to stay warm. This is a walk in the park this year. Temperatures are in the mid-30s. A little earlier we said 37. It's probably down around 35 or 36 now. But they are not paying any attention at all to the weather. They're in a party mood. Now, all of these balloons and the funny-looking Mylar wigs and all were handed out by the Business Improvement District here, and they have done an extraordinary job of really putting things together. It's a wonderful, wonderful party, and certainly one that will be long remembered for many, many years to come. I've just heard from the control room that it is still 37 degrees. And as I say, you would think it was in the mid-50s. But look, they don't even have their hats on tonight. I'm still looking for that guy who's out there without his shirt on. There is always one guy, no matter what the weather is, who's out there hanging around. What are they shouting about? Let me check this out. There's a huge cry. I guess they saw the ball wiggle or something. I tell you, they can't wait. It's only 5 minutes away. I don't know if you can hear the helicopters hanging overhead, but they're up there. You know, each night, 6 million volts of electricity are shot through these extraordinary signs here. There are 300 miles of neon there. Billions and billions of visitors have come to this area since 1904. You can hear the music building in the background. They got this surround sound this year. All sorts of sound and confetti and other doodads will happen as we go along. 500 dancers, actors, musicians, and puppeteers, 7 giant screen TVs, 160 puppets, 57 banners, 500 3-foot balloons have been distributed, and 100,000 handouts, which include pom-poms and leis and wigs and flags. They've all gotten their little party souvenirs, and they're having a great old time. There's the ball. It hasn't moved yet. It won't move for another 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Piccadilly Circus is big. Ginza in Tokyo is big. But ain't nothing like the ball in Times Square. Crossroads of the world in New York City. This is the place to be. Believe you me. I had the balloon concession, but those were all given away free tonight, isn't it? Happy-looking group of people. Notice the ages, though. Didn't I say? It is a young person's game. In order to stand out here for 10 or 12 hours, you got to have a lot of stamina. And the police have arranged the porta potties on the side streets and all. They've accommodated the people who couldn't get into the square. They've worked it out so people can move around with ease, and we're just less than 3 minutes away from probably the biggest sound you will ever hear as the Millennium Ball Drop happens. I mean, I've seen a lot of them, but I've never seen the size of a crowd like this. If indeed this is 2 million people, there are only 3 cities in the United States that are bigger than this crowd: Chicago, New York, and LA. This is big, really big. They talked about 3 million people on the beaches in Rio. They can stretch them out a long way up and down that beach down there. They're a little cozy down here. Yeah, say hi to Mom. She's watching you on TV. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Every single person in this crowd is watching for that thing to move. It's all computerized now. In the old days, you used to drop it with a nylon clothes cord with 3 guys and a Mickey Mouse button. It's all computerized now and highly technical. A couple of years ago when they first started, we had a minor glitch. Talking about Y2K things this year. A couple of years ago when it was computerized, we were a little bit late. I think we lost it by about 2 seconds that year, and boy, did it hit the papers. As I waved to television, turn around now, watch the ball. That's it there. You think she heard me? That's a funny look. Look at them. They're all the way up to Central Park, all the way down to 42nd Street. This is a massive New Year's Eve crowd with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Listen to the music, Bill. They're ready. They're in their sombreros.